Georgie's gorgeous gifts, so fine. Every piece you need.
So in today's video we are going to be using some clear polyurethane. Now I'm going to see if I can colour it or adding glitter to it. Now I haven't actually seen anybody trying to colour it or adding things to it, whether that's because the curing time is too quick or I don't know, but we're going to give it a go anyway. So I've got some epoxy paste, whether that'll work I don't know. I've got some mica powder, I've got some transparent resin pigment, and we've got some opaque resin pigment. We've also got a thin glitter and a chunky glitter. So we're going to be using this star sign mould, quick and easy, just need to give it a good clean, and then we'll get to it. So this is well, clear polyurethane, and it's by MB Fibreglass. I will drop the link in the description below. Usually polyurethane's a 1-to-1 ratio. This one for some reason is 100 to 120. Yeah, so that's a little bit different. So we will be weighing that out exact. So let's get to it. So I've got my scales and they are at the grams. So I'm just going to weigh this. Now it does say 100 grams to 120, but that's going to be far too much. So I'm going to half that. So we're going to do 50 by 60. So just make sure I've got A and B right. All right, so 50 grams of this. Now I am going to measure really accurately. Right, and that's 55. Let's pull that back in the bottle. There you go, there's 50. And then we're going to go for 60 grams of this, so it should be 50, 110. So I need to make sure that I don't go over that. It does stink. Alright, so there's 100, 106. There we go, 109. Right, now you don't have very long to mix this up at all. So I'm just going to, now this is real time mixing. And then I'm going to try and add the colour to it before we add it to the mould. Let's get rid of that. Okay, add the mould. So I'm literally stirring for about 30 seconds. You don't get an awful lot of work time with this. Just dropped a little bit in there. Now whether this is going to work, I don't know, which is another reason why I didn't want to make up loads. Right, so I'm going to quickly separate it into these cups. I'm going to go for 3 for now. That looks about equal. Right, we're going to start off with the opaque pigment. Just put 4 drops into that. Then the purple clear pigment, put 4 drops into that. And then we'll try the mica powder. And we'll just pop a little bit in. Right, now let's get mixing this really quick. Now I was slightly confused at this point because normally any other PU resin that I've used is starting to go off by now and you haven't really got this sort of time. It does actually take me a little while to figure out why this is, but find out later on in the video. Right, and we're just going to pour it into these moulds. Now, like I say, I've never used clear polyurethane before. so I haven't got a clue whether you can actually colour it or not. I did see an experiment that Claire from Glitz and Glitter on YouTube had done, but it was with the white polyurethane. Now this was it even confusing me even more, because still this wasn't curing. Now I didn't want to put an awful lot in, so this is the pigment paste, because I didn't know whether it would cure, and because it's so expensive I didn't want to waste it. This is the mica powder. Now this worked really well. The shimmer on this mica powder is absolutely stunning, and I'm just going to use a brush and to get in all them little grooves and corners. I will be doing something extra to a few of these key rings afterwards, so stay tuned to see what we do with them. But yeah, so far so good, but again completely baffling me as to why this still isn't curing. So here I am just putting half and half into this Libra mould, so half the resin pigment, half the mica powder, and then we fill the last one up with the opaque pigments, which didn't turn out to be so opaque. It was at this point, once again, I'd done it and I'd made up too much, so I'm grabbing the other half of this star sign mould. Just another tip, just really be prepared when you're using polyurethane, normal polyurethane particularly, not so much this stuff. So with what was left, I decided to add a little bit of glitter into it, just to add into the base of this. I think it's the Pisces mould. So yeah, I'm just putting more than I wanted to really, but a fair amount of this tub of glitter. Now this was one that my daughter bought me for Christmas. She bought me a couple of them. They are really, really good value. £2.50 for the full pot from the works, I think. So I'm just scraping out every last bit that's left, and still this isn't really curing. Is this alchemy? Is this magic? I'm confused, but I'm rolling with it. Curing time. Now I still didn't know whether this was going to work because this wasn't curing, so I really did have it in my head that this wasn't going to work at all, but yeah, it did. Over time I left it and it started to cure, to my utter surprise. And we'll be back in about an hour to see whether these have cured or not. And how awesome would that be if this actually works? Right, so I'll catch you on the flip side. So we are at about 15-20 minutes, and you can see it is curing. Yeah, I mean it's still quite runny at the minute, but it is definitely curing. Whether it fully cures or not, I don't know, but yeah, I mean particularly the ones with the glitter in. So yeah, we might be on to a winner. So we'll leave it the full 60 minutes and then I'll be back. So these have been curing for about an hour and a half. Now, I don't know whether it's worked or not because, so they are all right to demold, but polyurethane is normally rock solid. This isn't. This is still quite pliable and bendy. Whether that will cure more over time, I don't know. Even though this is not as quick as the normal polyurethane, the black and the white, it's still a lot quicker. I mean, this is after 60 minutes, so it's still a lot quicker than most resins. So at this point, I still couldn't tell you whether this was a fail or whether it was working, because obviously if it stayed this pliable and bendy, then there really wouldn't be any point. But I thought I'll leave it for a bit and see what happens. Me being Mrs. Impatient, even though they were still quite pliable and bendy, I had to take them out of the mould. I do leave those two in at the bottom, just because I wanted to do something extra with them. This is the one with the glitter in, and again it's exactly the same. It doesn't seem to have any issue. It has cured, but it's still pliable and bendy, but not sticky. So this is the opaque pigments. Now, one, I didn't shake the bottle. Two, I should have put a little bit more in, but I didn't want to push the boundaries at this point. But yeah, it's more opaque than the other ones, but it's exactly the same condition. Not sticky, but still pliable and bendy. So this is the following day. So I just left them. I thought I'm not going to touch them. And guess what? They're rock solid. So I'm thinking, right, on further inspection of the bottles, it does actually say that mix ratio by weight, yeah, then pot life is 23 to 27 minutes. Now, normally you only get second minutes with normal polyurethane. Then it says cure time 2 to 4 hours. So I'm thinking, one, I was expecting it to be done way better, quicker than it was, but you know what? It's actually worked. They are rock solid. So the opaque pigment isn't, I didn't put enough in to make it opaque really. This one, you can see the difference. I don't know whether the camera will pick it up, but the half and half. So this was the mica powder and this was the purple resin dye. The ones with the glitter, yeah, no problem. So we're going to take these out even though they're not filled completely. But yeah, they are rock solid. So we can actually colour polyurethane. Let's take this one out. So I have had a look and I've not yet seen anybody colouring clear polyurethane. So yeah, as long as you're not putting too much in, I will test the boundaries with smaller amounts on how much pigment you can get away with and whether we can use pigment paste. Because this was epoxy pigment paste, and mind you, these are epoxy dyes, so yeah, so I was a bit worried about using that one. But yeah, I think there's definitely room for further exploration with colouring clear polyurethane. So why it's different to the fast cast, I don't know. But this is called Polycraft Opticast 2000 Clear PU resin. Like I say, it says it's recommended to be cast at depths from between 5mm to 25mm with a cure time of 60 minutes at 25 degrees. But I think a lot of the problem when I was doing this was that I like to work in a well ventilated room, particularly if I'm not doing a voiceover and I haven't got a mask on. So I'm right next to the back door. So the back door was open and it was quite late at night, so it was quite cold. And it does say that it really needs to be above 20 degrees to cure it effectively. So yeah, this could be the start of something. So I think we're just going to push the boundaries just a little bit more. I haven't got an awful lot, so I'm going to mix up some more. And then I'm going to pop the epoxy resin pigment paste in it. And I'm going to put more opaque pigment in it and see how far we can push it until it doesn't cure. So there is clearly a difference between the white polyurethane and the clear polyurethane, although it's both Polycraft. One's an Opticast, one's a cast-in resin. So this is the 1-to-1 ratio. Now I want to see if I can colour this one. Now this is the one that cures really fast, but I've had a look at the difference on the bottles, and this is a 1-to-1 ratio. This is the 100 to 120. The pot life for this is 2.5 to 3.5 minutes, and the pot life to this one is 23 to 27 minutes. And then demold time is 30 to 60 minutes, and this one's 2 to 4 hours. So there is a difference. So yeah, we'll try this and see if we can colour this one. So I'll just fast forward you through this bit and then come back for the results. So for this first experiment, because this has different curing times and clearly different properties, I decided to dye the one part with the resin dye again, and I put a little bit more in, and then I put some mica powder in the other half. I did only mix a small amount up because, like I say, this stuff cures really, really fast. Yeah, so I'm just quickly mixing it in. All this is real time, and then getting it into the mould. And I actually left it on hyperlapse so that you could see it curing before your eyes. We're never going to get a solid colour. Even though it is opaque, it will always be more of a pastel colour because of the original whiteness of it. So yeah, I find it really, really fascinating on how fast this cures. So I'm just using up the last of this little bit because, again, it's quite costly, so I didn't want to waste any. And I didn't really have enough time to put the 3 different colours in, which is why I haven't used the metallic paste yet, but that is coming up. So this is a hyperlapse in real time of about 7 minutes. You can see it's curing before your eyes. I mean, it really is that fast. Absolutely fantastic. And the pigments have done nothing to the curing time. So, as you've seen there, this has fully cured, and it's literally been about 8 minutes. It's still quite warm, but you can demould it, and I'm dying to see. Oh my God. So we've managed to colour it, and it's fully cured. Colour it, and it's fully cured. Rock solid. So I'm going to mix a little bit more up and use the epoxy pigment paste and see if that works. Let's see. So yeah, although this has worked, I mean, this one is the resin dye, and it's left like a marble effect. The mica powder has left slight patches. Now, whether that was because I was panicking and didn't mix it well enough, I don't know. But yeah, I still like it. So if you're still with me, let me know your thoughts in the comments. And if you've coloured polyurethane, let me know the results. So I've experimented a little bit further, and I put just a dab of the epoxy resin metallics pigment paste in with the white polyurethane. And again, I mean, you're talking 10 minutes. The only problem is you can see that it's left like patches. Let's see if the other ones have done the same. And then what's curing here is I've used some Resincrete, so Ecopore pigments. But again, it looks very bitty, is the only way to describe it. Yeah, see, it hasn't fully mixed in. So I think we stick with the mica powders and the mica powders and the resin dye. I want to try and top that up with another colour. So that I just added what was left in the tub, some glitter to it, this chunky glitter. And again, that's cured no problem. And it's give this really minty kind of colour. Yeah. So again, it's quite bitty. Maybe I should mix it a little bit more. And yeah, this one's still curing. So I'm not too sure. This looks a little bit different to how these were. It looks, yeah, damper on the top. So the Resincrete pigment paste seems to have reacted with the polyurethane, although it is fully cured about 10 minutes later, and it is dry, but when I demoulded it, it left, it can only be described as like a gritty texture. I don't know whether the camera's picking it up, but yeah, it seems to have reacted and left, it looks like there's sand inside it. That's the only way to describe it. But you know what? I think I could actually work with this technique. I've got some crackle paint that would look brilliant on top of this. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. So yeah, in conclusion, I wouldn't recommend using the resin creep pigments, but I would recommend trying it with mica powders and the resin dye, whether that's opaque pigments or transparent pigments. I hope this has been helpful. I'm going to leave you with some more glamour pictures. Well, I say glamour pictures, but pictures of these. I've been Tony from Georgie's Gorgeous Gifts. Stay safe and happy crafting. Bye for now.
Drip drop colors on the run, swirling magic under the sun. New techniques in every pore. Georgie's gorgeous gifts explore.